Welcome to this edition of Mock OSHA Inspection Tips provided by the pros. Today's tips are provided by Curtis Chambers, a degreed certified safety professional with extensive experience in the occupational health and safety field. This presentation focuses on the top 5 most common OSHA violations found when we inspect excavation sites to determine if there is a suitable means of egress for employees who are working inside of trench excavations. But first, let's quickly cover 3 key definitions. Egress means an exit, or a way out. And in the definition section of the OSHA 1926 excavation standards in subpart P, the term excavation is defined as any man-made cut, cavity, trench, or depression formed in the Earth's surface by earth removal. So this image depicts an excavation, as does this hole dug with a shovel. And this larger hole dug with powered equipment also meets the OSHA definition of an excavation, as does this trench. Speaking of trenches, the first OSHA standard we focus on in this presentation specifically addresses trench excavations. A trench excavation is defined by OSHA as an excavation that is relatively narrow, is deeper than it is wide when measured across the bottom, and its width does not exceed 15 feet when measured across the bottom. So this is definitely a trench excavation, and this is also a trench excavation. By the way, when you have a wide excavation that is obviously not a trench, such as this one, but you later install or construct forms or a structure inside of that excavation, such as this, if the distance measured from the sides of the forms or structure to the sides of the excavation is 15 feet or less when measured at the bottom of the excavation, that section of the excavation is also considered to be a trench. Now back to the federal OSHA regulations. OSHA excavation standards requires a stairway, ladder, or other acceptable means of egress be provided for workers inside any trench excavation that is 4 feet or deeper. Furthermore, the ladder or other means of egress provided must be located so that workers in the trench can get to it within no more than 25 feet of lateral travel. By the way, lateral travel means horizontal travel. So if there is one ladder present inside a long trench, a worker, or workers, can move about, as long as they remain within 25 feet of lateral distance. And if there are 2 or more ladders present inside a long trench, and they are placed no more than 50 feet apart, then workers can be present at any point in between these 2 ladders, and they will never be more than 25 feet away from one ladder or the other. One last thing to keep in mind about the OSHA requirements for a ladder inside of trench excavations. There is no need for a ladder or other means to be installed in any portion of a trench if there are no workers present inside that area of the trench. Here is the specific OSHA excavation standard that requires a suitable means of egress be provided within 25 feet of lateral travel for workers inside trench excavations 4 feet or deeper. Since portable ladders are the primary means of egress used in most trench excavations, the rest of this presentation will focus on violations of the OSHA ladder standards that are commonly found at excavation sites. One of the most prevalent OSHA standards violated has to do with workers using a portable ladder that is not rated for the amount of weight, or the level of use it is subjected to on the job site. Weight that includes not only the worker, but any tools, materials, or equipment they may be carrying. Ladder manufacturers design portable ladders with different ratings that are suitable for a variety of weight capacities and duty cycles, which are laid out in this chart. Portable ladders have stickers on a side rail that display the ladder capacity. You can see this Type 3 ladder is rated for light duty with a total load of no more than 200 pounds. This is typically considered suitable for household use only, and is not suitable for heavy use in a construction environment. This Type 1A ladder, on the other hand, is rated for extra heavy duty with a max capacity of 300 pounds. OSHA requires employers to make certain the ladders their workers are using are suitable for the job being performed. Here is the applicable OSHA ladder standard cited when an improperly rated ladder is found being used. Another OSHA ladder standard that is violated often on excavation sites is that the top of a portable extension ladder does not extend at least 3 feet above the top of the trench. The purpose for this requirement is to provide the worker something to hold on to for stability as they are getting on or off the top of the ladder. Compliance with this standard is easy to gauge, because the rungs on most manufactured portable ladders are 1 foot apart. This ladder appears to extend only 1.5 feet above the top edge of the trench, so this is an OSHA violation. Here is the OSHA ladder standard that applies to this situation. There are different types of portable ladders, such as extension ladders and step ladders, and they are manufactured for different work situations. And using a portable ladder for a purpose for which it is not intended is an OSHA violation. The vast majority of step ladders are not designed to be climbed when folded closed and leaned up against the side of a trench or other vertical surface. So, unless the step ladder at your job site is specifically approved for this use by the manufacturer, don't use it for entering and exiting a trench while in this position. The better choice would be to use an appropriate extension ladder instead. Here is the OSHA ladder standard to cite if you find this violation. And last but certainly not least, extension ladders, which OSHA also refers to as non-self-supporting ladders, are designed to be set up at an angle such that the horizontal distance from the top support to the foot of the ladder is approximately 1/4 of the working length of the ladder. This is often referred to as the 4-to-1 rule. The proper angle can be determined by measuring the working length of the ladder from the point where it sits on the ground to the point where it contacts the surface at top, and then dividing that distance by 4. That provides the distance that the bottom of the ladder should be pulled back from the base of the vertical surface. Sometimes, job site conditions make this rule hard to comply with, especially in cases where the trench is very narrow, or when the sides of the trench are steeply sloped. However, it is important to strive for the ideal 4-to-1 angle where possible. Portable extension ladders that are set almost straight up and down are more apt to tip backwards when they are being climbed. Conversely, portable ladders that lean over too far of an angle become weaker, and are therefore subject to breaking easier. Here is the OSHA ladder standard pertaining to this requirement. So, here is a recap of our list of the 5 most common OSHA violations we find during our mock OSHA inspections when evaluating whether or not an acceptable means of egress is provided for trench excavations. No ladder or other acceptable means of egress is provided in a trench excavation that is 4 feet or deeper. Or, when a portable ladder or other means of egress is provided, it is not located within 25 feet of lateral travel for each worker inside the trench. The capacity of the ladder used is not sufficient for loads to which it is subjected. The top of a portable ladder does not extend at least 3 feet above the top of the trench. The wrong type of portable ladder is being used, and the angle of the extension ladder is not correct. There are many other potential OSHA violations involving portable ladders in addition to the ones we covered here. So, refer to the OSHA 1926 construction standards for more requirements that apply. Oh, and one more thing. Anytime you find a portable ladder with any type of damage or excessive wear, be sure to tag it as unsafe, and take it out of service right away. That wraps up this edition of Mock OSHA Inspection Tips from the Pros. Be sure to come back to see us, as we will occasionally post more videos with tips from the pros that you can use when you conduct your safety inspections.